Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Michael Ward from JMS Lake Charles Camp, coming at you again with another video through the Spirit. But before I do anything, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who strive and taught us this truth, and blessings to you, brothers across 4 winds, pushing this truth with sincerity. All right, the title of this video is going to be called People Don't Want to Know the Truth. Right? Because, once you get to start speaking about the things that's, going to take place in this society, a lot of people, don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that the end is coming. They don't want to hear that Yahushua, is coming back, with judgment. They don't want to hear that not everybody's going to make it to the kingdom. They don't want to hear these things, man. They want to be comfortable, and by them want to be comfortable, they're going to destroy themselves, because we were sitting down here for a period of time. We wasn't sitting down here to be here forever, but all people done lost sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. They don't see nothing better to come, after this place. They think this is it, but this is not it. And you have the prophets out on the highways and byways, giving that warning, letting all people know this is not it, But a brother had posted a quote, and I'm going to read it. It says, people don't want to know the truth. They want to be comfortable, and pretty soon, when Jacob's trouble began to kick off, that comfortability, is going to go out the window, You're not going to be able to be in your house, going to your refrigerator when you want to, getting a snack, You're not going to be able to be in the comfort of your home, because all hell is going to break loose, man. And you have the prophets warning you of these things, warning the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of these things. That way, y'all can be protected in these upcoming times, because this is not for everybody. This is only for Israel. We were sent down here we were sent to give that warning to Israel, and I'm going to start it off with that one. This is Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. It says, Son of man, I had made thee a watchman into the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. And that's what we're doing. We're giving warning from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man, because that's what we was, instructed to do. And this warning that we're giving, is not what the masses of the people want to hear, man. But we still have to give that warning. If not, then it's blood up on our hands, man. And we don't want that. That's why we out here blowing this trumpet constantly. That way we can get the blood off our hands, man. Because if you see someone doing something wrong and you don't warn him or let him know, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that, hey, blood is going to be required on you, man, because you're watching him go off. This is verse 18. It said, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speak to warn the wicked for his wicked ways, to save his life, the same wicked man should die in his iniquity, but blood will I require at thy hand. Right, man? So you're going to have to answer for that as well, because you didn't let him know, man. You probably could have saved the soul, man, but you didn't want to, how I want to put it, I ain't gonna say no, that's not my business. Nah, man, you have to give that warning, man. It says, verse 19, it say, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wicked ways, nor from his wicked, Salaki, let me read this again. This is Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked ways, he shall surely die. But thou hast delivered thy soul. Right, man? And that's what we're doing. We're delivering our soul because we're giving that warning, letting all people know what's to come, letting all people know that the pastors, in these church houses, they are not giving that proper warning, man. So blood is going to be required upon their hands, man. Those Christian pastors, those are false prophets, man. They doing false teaching, they teaching, for benefit, for their own benefit, you know, leading people astray, man. You know, they just doing that, you know, to get a check, man. You know, you go to the preacher house, you know, you go to the preacher house, you know, say you committed a sin, you know, and you go, he letting you know that everything is gonna be all right, man. But he's letting you know that everything is gonna be all right, as long as you repent, you know. And you have people that keep, you know, doing the same wicked acts over and over and over again, and he's telling everybody that it's okay, man. No, and that's not okay, you know. So he's gonna have to answer for the things that he's pushing out, you know, leading people astray, you know. So he's gonna get judged, and the ones that's listening to him is gonna get judged, you know, because you have the true prophets out on the highways and byways giving that warning, but y'all don't want to hear it. This is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 10 in the NLT. It say, they tell the seers, stop seeing the vision. Right. The prophets have that vision, letting them know what's to come to this place. Letting them know that pretty soon, you know, this place is going to go on lockdown. You know, pretty soon that Eve's going to roll in, you know, with his new world order. Pretty soon, you know, if you're not getting down with that program, man, you're going to be cut off for society. Pretty soon, Yahweh Shah is going to crack the clouds and lay forth judgment, man. But they don't want to hear that, you know. They want to hear that everything is going to be okay. That's why they run into these church houses, man. And these church houses telling them everything that they want to hear, man. You know, telling them smooth things. It say, they tell the prophets, don't tell us what is right. Tell us nice things, tell us lies, man. And that is what the Christian pastors are doing. Telling all people lies, man. And he telling them lies and they just feeding into it. You know, rather than going out on the highways and byways, you know, listening to the prophets, you know, because the prophets is telling you what you need to hear, man. Telling you to turn back to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, man. Telling you, you know, to repent, you know. Be up on Yahweh Shah's good side when he makes their return, man. That's the only way you're going to be protected in these upcoming times, but all people don't want to hear. Verse 11 in the NLT, it say, forget all the gloom, get off your narrow path. Stop telling us about your Holy One of Israel, right? They don't want to hear about Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, man. You know, they want to hear that everything is going to be okay. They don't want the Lord to come back and destroy this place, man. But he is, you know. The Lord is coming back to lay that judgment down. But by you not wanting to take heed, you know, you're going to be partakers of that, man. This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 24. It say, because I have called and ye refuse. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, man. And how's the Lord stretching out his hands? You know, through his prophets. You know, you got the prophets putting up videos, you know, daily, man. You got the prophets going out on the highways and byways daily. And y'all see the prophets and pass us right up, man. Just because we don't have on a fucking 3-piece suit. You know, just because we're not in the church house. You know. So by that, you know, it's consequences for that. Verse 24, it say, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear is coming. Right? But how is the Lord going to... Let me see, Salaki. Let me go back real quick. This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 24. It say, because I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, you know, and we know that the Lord is stretching out his hand through his prophets, man. He always speak through the prophets, you know. It says, verse 25, it say, but ye have said at naught at all my counsel, and will none of my reproof. Verse 26, it say, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear is coming. Right, man. The Lord is going to mock when your fear is coming. And how is he going to do that? You know, through the prophets. Because you didn't want to get right. Because you wanted to hear those smooth things, man. You know. So basically, you done turned your back on the Lord, man. So by you turning your back on the Lord, you know, when your fear coming up on you, man, the Lord is going to use the prophets to laugh at you, man. Because you had the opportunity to get right. But you didn't want to. Watch this. This is, you know, Cause that's when everybody fear come upon them, that's when they're gonna try to seek Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. But it's gonna be too late. This is John chapter 7 and verse 34. Ye shall seek me and shall not find me. And where I am, there ye cannot come. Right, man. You're not gonna find the Lord, man, because you had an opportunity to get right, but you didn't want to get right, man. You had an opportunity to get this word, but you played around. That wasn't the one I was looking for. They should. Let me see. Bear with me, brothers. Because, hold on. I should have kept going. This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 28. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, and they shall not find me. For they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. Right, man? They hated knowledge, man. They didn't choose the fear of the Lord, man, because they thought, that they was going to be here forever. They didn't see this place coming to an end. They didn't think that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua was going to make their return. But when he make their return, they're going to be shocked. What they're going to say? Damn, we was fools, man. Because you had an opportunity to get right, but you didn't want to. You wanted to live it up on this side. You wanted to store up your riches on this side, man. Trying to hold on to this world like it's not going to come to an end. This world is coming to an end, and everything that you see in this world is going to get burnt up, man. So depart from this place, man, for you be coals to the fire, man. But Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, who strive and taught us this truth, and blessings to you brothers across 4 winds, pushing this truth in sincerity. Until next time, Shalom.